What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning on the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is the Rapl. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Isis. I feel like I need to give Kvoth a big introduction here, but I just said his name, so it's all over. Anyways, Divine Intervention, round of 8. This is the second series of the round of 8 here. I'm excited to see this one. I've been stoked to see this one. This is the highlight for me. Rapl versus Kvoth. Both of these guys have got a little chip on their shoulders, something to prove, because honestly, they're both they're both finals caliber Age of Mythology players, but they haven't yet made that appearance in these big S tier tournaments. I could be telling a lie there. Not 100% sure if one of them has in these big S tier tournaments. But I'm excited to see how this one's going to go because they're both so incredibly good at this game. Especially at like all of the gods as well. Kvoth coming from the Atlantean side of things, learning Gaia, learning Uranus, putting effort into learning Hades, and then starting to branch out into all the gods. I've been seeing his progress as he's really, really improved he's already really good to start with, but with all of his gods, he's really, really improved over the past even just the past couple of months. Rapl, on the other hand, kind of taking a different approach. He started on vanilla of all things. There's a couple of vanilla players who are also top Titans players, so it's an exciting thing to be sure. But Rapl starting on vanilla, kind of being able to play. I think he started as an Isis player, a filthy Isis player. I love you, Rapl. But I think he started as an Isis player, and then as always with the vanilla players, we kind of ventured out, the top vanilla players ventured out into playing random god a lot in the team game, so you kind of got a feel for every single god. Came to the Titans and learnt Odin to an incredibly high level, and then also, he says this himself, he goes, you know what, if Odin has got a bad matchup, fine, I'll just play a different god against that matchup. I'm not going to complain about it, I'm going to learn how to beat it, and that's my man after my heart. If you got a problem with something, don't complain about it. Do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I'm excited. Okay, Loki versus Isis. Nothing just keeps getting better and better. Loki versus Isis. This matchup is pure chaos. Now, you can play this matchup in a defensive way as Isis and try and make that work against Loki. But personally, I love the chaos of a good classical fight. We'll see if Kvoth is going to go for it or if he's going to go for a town center. He's got a decent town center. Not a good town center, a decent town center over here with a handful of Aurochs that he can drag in. But Isis, unlike Ra and Set, can't really survive off just a decent town center. You kind of need to have the primo town center to make a second town center work without going into like super classical fight mode. So we'll see how it's all going to go. 4 SETI on the way here for Rapl as the obviously Kvoth going to be taking him a little bit longer. I mean, he's getting the temple up now with 2 villages, so a little bit delayed, wanting it up a little bit faster than he got it here. I think maybe because he made a move out onto the secondary hunt. Wants to ensure that he's got this one secured and then he can move back into his main base, eat these elk while his opponent can't really pressure him. So that's a smart idea there in some degree, but it does slow him down. He will be advancing. He's going for a 445. Not a bad advance time in the slightest. Rapl, on the other hand, what is he going to do? He's going to see Bast. What do you do against Bast as Loki? 2 options. 1, you play standard standard Loki theory. You go Herser, you go lots more Herser, you get more Herser, you get even more Herser. And then once you get more Herser, and you click Flaming Weapons and you win the game. Or modern Loki theory against Isis is actually, especially against Bast and especially against like a later advanced Bast, though maybe Kvoth is going for a town center here. He's got 7 villages on gold. With these villages on wood, it's probably going to be a fast heroic if you ask me. But modern theory against kind of ISIS and why ISIS is kind of in the dumpsters a little bit is that against the fast heroic, you can kind of just grab a town center. You can kind of just grab a town center and call it a day. As the Longhouse coming up over here for the Rapl. No town center up just yet. He's gearing up to get himself that Hall of Fames. And never mind. Kvoth is going for a town center. So he has proven me wrong in more ways than one as the wall's coming up around this this tower here, ensuring that he can make that one nice and safe. He's obviously also still got this hunt in his main base. And a 2 town center fast heroic? Is this possible against the Loki? Is this possible against the Loki? That's the big question. He can drag these Aurochs into his town center. This will probably get to about here, or maybe you can probably drag it in pretty close to underneath the town center with some good micro. Relics under getting uncovered here as well. As the +8 building line of sight. Chat GPT has an opinion on this one. Do we care? Maybe. Loki will likely try to apply pressure early on with raids and aggressive unit composition, while ISIS will focus on building up her economy and defending against these attacks. The outcome often depends on the player's strategy, map control, and ability to adapt to the opponent's tactics. You know what? Chat GPT, you're smarter than people give you credit for. As the Sphinx is going to be chasing down this troll, a little bit out of position here. As the troll going to be pulling back, this Herser 13 HP, got to be a little bit careful about that. And Kvoth knows, he is well and truly aware of what is happening in this game. So the troll going to be pulled back. The villagers do manage to pull the Aurochs in just a little bit, not amazingly, but they're good enough. Plenty of herdables in the main base with 9 there, plus these elk. And we do see a barracks, and is that an armory? And an armory. So just a safe kind of mini axeman fast heroic here, or semi-fast heroic from Kvoth, as Hall of Fames is through for Rapl. He's making raiding cavalry, he's making Herser, he's making houses. All of the right things. He's eating all the hunt on the map. Look at the hunt over here. And Rapl is now doing something that this might be considered lame, and it is lame to some degree, but great raid while this is going on. But let me talk a little bit about why this is actually a good thing for Age of Mythology. If you do not get out onto the map early, you are giving the map over to your opponent to do whatever they want with that map. If you aren't out on the map, if you aren't building units, if you aren't trying to engage with your opponent, they've got these units out that they're not going to be able to do anything with. Letting them do this is great. This is great for Age of Mythology. I think this is fantastic. So long as you don't do this super early in the game, like in the Archaic Age, I think this is totally fine. Not only that, you also got Loki getting favor from this. And he actually did get a Valkyrie spawn, which is very, very nice there as well. So Rapl are going to be enjoying that, eating the herdables over on this position as well, finishing up on this elk kit, trying to get to the next age. It can be so hard for ISIS, in particular ISIS, not so much Set, not so much Ra, to get to the next age, because things just go so wrong for you. But he's going to have a good economy nonetheless, and he will be hitting that heroic age at some point. As the raiding cavalry swinging through here, villagers pulling off of the gold. Going to be jumping into that town center there. Oh, great raid coming through here as Kvoth kind of misclicks a little bit. Crenellations is clicked up though for Kvoth. That's going to get some good damage done onto the raiding cavalry, get some good damage done onto everything else. But this is exactly what Rapl needs at this point in this game, is to get these raids, punish this Kvoth second town center. Lots of villager kills here as the troll is out as well. The laborer getting pushed out here as well, and we do see the Sphinx is here to help out. The Axemen are here to help out as well. Kvoth's still going to have that slight villager advantage, but remember, he is playing against Loki, and most of the time Loki players are just building dwarves. But like at the moment, 11 dwarves, it's probably about 30, maybe 33 villagers roughly for Rapl in terms of just straight villages, if you were to account for the dwarf factor. But also you've got the fact that Norse's gather rate of the gatherers is also faster as well. So things are going well. As Hands of the Pharaoh coming through, Kvoth still trying to get to that next stage. Units still flowing around the map. Rapl about to be able to click up to the Mythic Age. He's obviously planning to get a gold staff here. This is his plan. But he hasn't thrown up any walls. He doesn't know where to go. I don't know. He's put a spy onto the Pharaoh, so that is a great unit there to spy because, well, it does a lot. It shows you where the Migdol's going up. So there's not going to be any sneaky gold mine grabs here. Bragi also clicked up for Rapl. Both players going to that next age. But obviously Rapl with a lot more population at the moment than Kvoth has. I wouldn't mind seeing Rapl start setting up forward buildings up here somewhere. If he gets those forward buildings set up, he can kind of hit this with reinforcements, which can be a little bit of a help, especially like a forward temple or something, as we do see a town center coming up. Okay. This is good. This is really, really good. This is something that I think a lot of the Loki players miss against Egyptian, and then they cry because they lose. But what this does is, this means that Rapl isn't going for like a crazy all-in here. He's getting the economy out. He's done damage. He's going to have this town center. He gets it up nice and safely, and he's going to be able to get dwarves and everything else out of that town center to continue in this game if things go a little bit poorly. If he gets hit with an Ancestors Eclipse up on this position and loses all of these villages, which might actually happen here, he's going to get those villages back out in spades from that second town center. So life is good for him, though the villagers are going to be feeling some pain here as the Hearse are getting a couple of villager kills over here as well, but villagers retreating back. Most of them will be falling. But then again, I've actually got a game in this matchup where this happened to me in vanilla against a guy called Pot Pie. It's on RTS Sanctuary, actually. A really great game. Recommend it. The problem with Ancestors Eclipse on the economy against Loki when you don't have a second gold mine as Isis, you're just going to get absolutely destroyed by Flaming Weapon's timing attack. So Rapl here, he's putting pressure on. He's getting villager kills as well as in the main base. These Hearse are getting some favor income by picking off those minions here as they're searching around for villager kills. There's the raiding cavalry searching around as well. We do see the villagers up on this position as Kvoth doesn't quite have the resources just yet, but you got to kind of know that spy is on your Pharaoh. That's a really, really classic spy to be using. So you got to know that your opponent knows where your villages are on gold. So defending that is very, very important. As the unit's still putting pressure over here. I think Rapl is waiting to see the army pop up over here and then push around. But the town center is getting some really, really good defense in there. Remember, Crenellations was bought. So that town center is super, super accurate. More so than normal, though I think it's already got a 10 track rating. So does this even do anything? Does it get plus 10 track rating? So now it's 20 track rating. How does the town center work? Is Chrono JJ out there in the chat? Can you tell me how it works? Because I don't even know. I don't even know. There's the hill fort coming up for Rapl. Walls coming up on this position here for Kvoth to defend themselves. Villager differential is starting to kick in with the big villager differential there from that Ancestors Eclipse. But you do have to remember that Rapl still has flaming weapons, and that is such a difficult thing to defend against. But wait! Does he do it? Oh, it's coming in! It's coming in! Shaft Mine is coming in! Yes, we get the prosperity with Shaft Mine. Max value. Max value. How much gold left over here? That one's going to be finished up. Max value. I love it. As the Hearse are pushing through. Only a handful of Axemen out here is a little bit worrying. The wall, is it going to get finished up? No. The Hearse sneak through. The villagers going to get taken down on this position. Flaming Weapons is about to come through. The battle boars starting to move in here. Going to be able to take out those Axemen on this position. Going to be moving straight in to take the Pharaoh. Great micro there from Kvoth. Pulling the villagers off immediately here. Sitting in a great position with those chariot archers. This wall is absolutely gigantic for Kvoth as the Hearser are kind of sitting over here, not really doing all too much. Kvoth going to be retreating away. He has to pull back. He has got a lot of gold in the bank here to survive for a little bit. He needs to make a lot of priests here. Does he have funeral rites in already? Answer, not just yet. Not just yet, as the villagers getting targeted down on this position. We do see the army turning around here now for Kvoth. Going to be trying to fight this one. He's got a great choke point over here as the Pharaoh and Priest pulling back here. Going to be able to take out those myth units here. We do see a Hearser trying to sneak through. Going to get a bit of damage. Look at that damage that the Hearser does. 17.6 damage per second there as the Pharaoh does end up falling. Migdol's stronghold about to go down as well. Rapl continuing to push in. He's still sitting at full population, and this is the beauty of that second town center grab. Mountain giants spawn there as well to help out, and Rapl says, I've done the dash. I've picked your Migdol off. You've got no gold left. You've got the hard road ahead of you here. How does Kvoth get a gold mine here on this map? He can try and sneak this gold mine. He could try and sneak around here and grab that gold mine up in the top corner there. We take a look at Rapl's perspective. He doesn't know there's a gold mine in the top corner. Could be a possibility for Kvoth as a Migdol stronghold going to come up over here. And Rapl here and converging on this position as the chariot archers pulling back. And what can Rapl do here is the big question to push Kvoth out of this game. Now, Kvoth can put a marker down. He's got one, so he can sell wood. He doesn't necessarily need to get onto a gold mine immediately, but he does move the Migdol stronghold a little bit closer over here. He's still got a ton of chariot archers, so this is still a very, very strong position to be in. Meanwhile, over on this position, the battle ball taking down a town center here. Do we see any priests? There's a couple there, still no funeral rites, so that's going to go down. And Rapl now going to be up 2-1 town center. He's going to be in complete control of this game. But villagers are getting this gold mine back over on this position. So Kvoth still in here. Still in here in this game as Rapl now retreating away from this position. I wouldn't mind seeing him drop like a military building with one of his Hearser or something there, like a longhouse. Just to keep an eye on it, but not just happening now. Rapl also getting this town center up. He's got to mark it up. You can always go to the mythic age here in this game to boot if he needs to. As the Pharaoh is out, can try and take out the battle ball there as well. And now Rapl is not slowing down here, because look at this heavy cavalry coming through, and Kvoth's army is not equipped to deal with heavy cavalry. With these Jarls, 198 HP is about to go up to like 200 and maybe like 10, 220 maybe. I think it is 220. Let me see, 225. Funeral rites now coming through with heavy chariots as well for Kvoth, but Kvoth kind of needs to go into, he already needs to be taking in to spearmen in order to deal with these with this cavalry pressure that's about to hit him. But he does get the heavy chariots. Going to be in a good position to defend. The Pharaoh on the back here, holding nicely at the back, not yet getting targeted down, getting tons of damage done to those battle ball with funeral rites as well. Really starts going to town on these myth units here. As Kvoth focus firing them down, picks them all off with the last one just about to start getting targeted down. And even with that upgrade, Rapl not able to make it work, but he is getting the raids in onto these villages while this is all going on. The raid is still popping out. He's still getting damage done. They just pop out of the longhouse, pick off a villager or two, and as the fight goes on, just continuing to cause problems there, as well as the chariot's still pushing Kvoth back. But you do have to remember, Kvoth just about to be 3 town centers. He's about to be 3 town centers with a villager lead and a tech lead to some degree, because he's, well, I mean, heavy raiders versus heavy chariots is kind of similar, but we do see Kvoth now starting to build the spearmen, realizing he needs those to hold on here. I like this here, little cheeky extra lumber camp to keep those villagers nice and efficient there. There's Rapl swinging around with these units of barracks wanting to, or double armory coming up here to try to defend themselves. As this raiding cavalry going to get shanked down. Even the heavy raiding cavalry struggles against the might of 6 villagers. Every cavalry would struggle against that many villagers, with the exception of maybe the elephant, who is very, very strong. But Kvoth seemingly held here. Again, the problem is he's just one town center. It looks like he's trying to get Mythic Age here. If he can get Mythic Age and get himself a Son of Osiris, there's a chance here he just starts making life really tough for Rapl, because Rapl doesn't have a great way to defend against that. Because he doesn't have Thundering Hooves for those raiding cavalry to just get in and get that surround, and life can be quite difficult. That's Kvoth buying a bit of food there, and he does click up through Osiris. Let's look at this army composition from Rapl. How do you defend this Huskar, Hersir, raiding cavalry? You kind of have to just say maybe less chariot archers and go into axemen, spearmen or something. It's Rapl pulling back. Irrigation, fortified town centers. He is getting everything he possibly needs here. 6 farms on this spot over here. He's got 11 farms over here. I love this. He is getting every little inch of food he possibly can before he starts needing to spam all those farms out. Plus getting irrigation before that happens is a really, really great idea. As these priests are out getting some good damage done onto those battle balls. Good micro there from Rapl pulling away though, as the priest not paying attention there. There we go, Rapl does pull that one in. Kvoth starting to get some pressure onto the Pharaoh there. Does not want to be taking damage onto that one because he is going for the Mythic Age as he pulls back into his main base here. Going to be trying to heal that one up. Does he get a priest out? Yes, he does. Effectively here, Kvoth is trying to get probably somewhere in the vicinity of 3,000 to 4,000 resources worth of value out of the Son of Osiris in this game for him to kind of equalize. Because he still needs the town centers up. He is in the Mythic Age, so he's already spent those resources. This Kvoth pulling back. He does have the watchtowers with crenellations. Pharaoh kind of getting caught out. He can sneak that Pharaoh into this position here if he wants, and maybe he's safe there. Rapl pulling back, going to take out the Migdol stronghold again. Still very tough for Kvoth to make this work, as he does get that Son of Osiris in. Rapl just very calmly says, "All right, I'll retreat. No worries. No one's unhappy here." Farms coming up on this position. One thing I wouldn't mind seeing from Norse players, instead of doing this, just walk over to your 3rd town center and put farms there. Make the extra effort. It's not that hard. Sure, it's less walking time initially, or more walking time initially, but it's much better. Now Rapl going up to 4 town centers here as well. As Hell clicked up for Rapl, not going for Fimbulwinter. I mean, I like it because you're obviously gearing up to just in case you need to continue to fight. But Fimbulwinter here would absolutely neuter Kvoth's economy. Obviously, 1 town center, I'm not going to do all too much, but you just town bell. Life becomes really tough. There's a Migdol stronghold coming up in the middle of the map. What I really like about Rappl's gameplay thus far is he's not really taking any risks. He is just using his calculation ability to say, you know what, this fight probably not the best. Let's regroup, take a better fight later. But champion chariots coming in here, these chariots are going to be strong. I think that Rapl needs to wait a little bit more, and he does decide that, yeah, okay, time to not take that fight just yet. Really just being calculated and not brain deading the attack, as life can get very tough here. One thing that Rapl needs to be doing while this game is going on, and he is getting some longhouses out and hill forts out, but just continuing to put longhouses down throughout the game. Why? Because you just need them. Longhouses, walls, all the good stuff needs to be coming through here. Especially on the bottom side of the map. Because if Kvoth can, at any point, get into a good position here, as the town center has managed to come up. We see Masons coming in as the army is very much out of position. The town center should be able to range this. You should probably hit the Son of Osiris here, but villagers getting cleaned up. Some more chariot archers coming in. Is there no way to make a catapult? There's the Nidhogg in. And the Nidhogg, while being a ridiculously strong unit against some civs, generally speaking, it doesn't do all too well against Egyptian, as this Son of Osiris does 150 damage per shot onto the Nidhogg. Hillfort coming up on this position here as well. And it looks like Kvoth here says, you know what? I know the game is done. I just cannot. I know I'm not 100% lost here, but he says, all right, I'll call it. He does have that fighting attitude, but 34 villagers against 103. It's a bit much. But an incredibly well played game here by Rapl. This was just so smooth and calculated. Kvoth here with a 2 down center fast heroic with the Ancestors Eclipse on the economy. I think there is room for an Ancestors Eclipse on the economy, but you kind of want to do it as a response to your economy getting hit by like a flaming weapons in a way. Otherwise, just maybe try and take out a town center with it or something. It's probably a nice way to do it when your opponent's attacking you. So, anyways, if you guys enjoy it, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Lots of Age of Mythology to come.